right, Shalom. This is Harwan by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right, this is going to be another lesson or epistle dealing with prophecy. All right, because that's the times that we're in, prophecy, and also the truth being revealed. So these are the things we should be speaking in faith, in truth, and also in prophecy. All right. Now, as of, I think, 2 days ago, they put out a statement, which some say is a distraction from Biden or a true threat to America's electric grid, power grid, communications, whatever. Now, it's known that China has the ability to take out America's whole electric grid. But now, Putin, let's just read it. It says, House Intel Chairman Mike Turner warns of serious national security threat to the U.S. in a cryptic statement. All right, he put it out there kind of like the devil in a deceptive way. He didn't put it out there clearly that there's a threat, but he put it out there, some say, to make Congress or the Biden administration to make them take it more seriously, or it could be for a distraction. All right, so it says today, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence has made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. All right, I mean, it's a threat to the whole nation. But what type of threat? It says, I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information, because they got the information, but they got it classified, what Russia's doing. So they're not letting the people know. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so that Congress, the administration, and our allies, which America is running low on allies, they're talking about over in Europe, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this type of threat from Chairman Mike Turner of America. Now, so let's read about the threat. This is from the Washington Post. Just took a couple screenshots. It says, with a dire warning, concerns are rising about the conflict in space with Russia. See that? The scripture says it's going to be war in heaven. And ultimately, they're going to try to fight against Yahweh Shai and the angels with all these space weapons, the space drones they got. They got nukes out. They got nuclear weapons out there now. All right, and none of that's going to work against the Lord. But right now, Russia is setting up a space war against America. What type of space war? They got drones out there they got robotic drones out there with arms on them, where they can play like Rocket Sock and Robot, and use their satellite to ram into another satellite and destroy it. All the cell phones, everything works from satellite here in America now. All right, even your GPS. So they got some reporters saying, hey man, it'd be smart to get a dry map again, paper maps for your car. But I used to drive trucks back in the day, and when I was driving trucks, we had to get used to using those paper maps. I remember we had this little Tomcat right before the Tomcats GPS came out. We had to cling to those maps. You had to go to the gas station and get a map. All right, so it says here, revelations. Oh, that's what times we in. That's the spirit. Revelations that Russia may be seeking to deploy a nuclear weapon in space raises fears that go back to the Sputnik and the dawn of the space age, man. These are the same fears that America was going through dealing with Russia in the 1950s when they put the Sputnik out in space. All right, the communications. Now, and they were worried that Russia was putting a nuke out in space, or weapons out there that could drop onto American soil. But this weapon, they don't know what's in it. It's classified. They don't know what's in this ship. It's a giant ship with nuclear capability that Russia is allegedly sending out in space. And they don't know if it got missiles in it to hit the homeland. They say it don't, but it's more so a nuke that can explode in space and knock out all of America's communications, satellites, whatever. And it'll go dark here on the soils. And China has the ability to knock out all the electric grid. So America would be left, powerless, left to sit in the dark before it gets lit on fire with those missiles. It's kind of like in a boxing match where you don't want to just come out swinging, but you want to take away the person's defense. You know, you might nudge their hand over, nudge their elbow over, just so you can get a shot at the rib. You know, or knock their hand out of the way with a parry, either one, and then leave their face open for the punch. That's what's happening here. It's strategic before they strike this place. Everything that Russia is doing towards America now is for ambushing and preparation for war. All right, this is Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. All right, so they worried about the wars, man. There's wars, the rumors of wars. This goes into that as well. There's rumors of wars in the space domain. What was his name? The Vice President Pence of Trump when he was in office. They're the ones that declared it when Trump set up the Space Force. And they said the space has outer space has become a domain for war now. So this is another war and rumors of war. All right, where Russia's talking about going to war with America's systems that they got set up out there in space, orbiting the Earth. Now, America put up a giant ship, a robotic AI-controlled ship that they say could be nuclear compatible, could be sent up there to protect America's satellites, and it's floating around America as we speak. They put it up in 2023 in December. So they're getting prepared for this war out in space, man. Nukes going off over the atmosphere. All right? But these nukes are basically what you'll call an EMP, electromagnetic pulses. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they keep saying, it could damage the system. And that's what, according to scripture, should be happening first before the missiles hit. All the power is going to be knocked out of this place. And even if it's not from Russia, they can use this now as a false flag, meaning a real event where they push Russia to do it, or they use it to, weapons of mass destruction, see, and start a war. Or Russia got threats out in space now, and then they shut down America's grid and say, Russia did it. You know. So and this is what should be next: a lights out scenario. Cyber attacks. All right. So a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee. So the Lord laid this snare using Russia and these nuclear missiles for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, man. See, the Lord has exposed America's weaknesses to these nations. And now they're setting everything in place to strike. Because thou hast striven against Yahweh. All right, so Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of Chaldeans. So this is the work of the Lord. He already got the missiles in place. They already got deterrents and invincible missiles, and the Lord ramped up Russia and these nations with missile defense shields. And now they're going into AI technology and infiltration tactics and ways to shut down the power grid in America and the systems and connections, communications, where the military won't be able to respond or to shoot off missiles or do anything. Because if I'm not mistaken, Russia still has that Morse code system set up, and America doesn't. They can go right back to that old, combinational type of setup instead of through the internet and satellite. You know, what is it called, man? It says Morse code. That's what it's called. It's just beeps in the air. The Russian Navy and other Russian forces still use the Morse code, and during these peacetime periods, they openly transmit Morse code references to activate voice and data leaks, man. So Russia still got that old system set up in case this modernized digital satellite GPS systems go down. So if America hits Russia with an EMP, they good. They got a whole off-grid operating system. All right, let's get back to the article. It says Russia is developing a space-based capability to attack satellites using a nuclear weapon. That's basically EMP. An aggressive move that has alarmed U.S. national security officials and lawmakers who worry that Russia could interfere with or disable critical communications and intelligence systems, according to people familiar with classified intelligence. So this could be an agenda or Esau's way of trying to manipulate the minds of the people in preparation for a false flag, a lights out scenario, and blame it on Russia. Or this could be legit, a threat. But either way, this nation is a sound of battle in their land, in the land. All right, a sound of alarm. It says here, this is not an active capability that's been deployed, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters Thursday. Kirby didn't address questions about whether the system was designed to use a nuclear weapon or was perhaps powered by nuclear energy. But citing earlier news reports, he said he could confirm that it is related to an anti-satellite capability that Russia is developing. All right, so White House says Though Russia's pursuit of this particular capability is troubling, there is no immediate threat to anyone's safety, Kirby said. We are not talking about a weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction on the earth. With that said, we've been closely monitoring this, right? That's why I said it's a way, it's a means of ambush. It's a means of exposing the weaknesses of this place. All right. So just like Russia pulled away from certain policies, set up the BRICS, you see that they're setting up everything in place so they can just attack whenever they need to, economically, systematically, through the satellites, through space, through missiles, right? Whatever means they need, they're gonna have everything in place at the exposed weaknesses of this place, America. So I think I'll title this one "Prepare the Ambushes," because that's what this is. It's another form of ambush, that America got to try to defend itself from. All right? So every move that Russia makes is a threat to this place now. When they link up with China and Iran, the OPEC plus one. Plus one now is Russia. They control the oil. They got the migrants. Some of them are Russian. That's another form of ambush or invasion. These satellites, that's a form of knocking out America's power grid and communication systems, at least, with an EMP, which will stop everything that's electric or digital. It'll shut down immediately. Planes falling out the sky, cars shutting down. It'd be worse than the last pandemic, kill off more people. So Jeremiah 51:11, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. So all people are preparing their missiles, getting the missile defenses together as well for war. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, man. So the Lord has raised up that spirit of Russia, in that same Soviet Union, USSR mindset, like back during the Sputnik days, when they put fear in America. For his device is against Babylon. So everything that Russia imagines is against this place. So even this satellite destroyer is really set up against America. It's not set up against China. They're not setting up against Iran. They're setting this in place so it can be a ready threat against America, Babylon. Set up the standard for his device is against Babylon. So anything they building in their army, ramping up their army, Russia, their allies, their satellites, whatever, their device is against this place, to destroy it. All right, not to go to war. They want to destroy this place. They don't want to go tit for tat and back and forth. So they're making sure everything's in place so they can be guaranteed to win this war. And right now, America is fully vulnerable and exposed to China and Russia. Because what? Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. See? It's all about the prophecies and the vengeance of Yahweh for his people against this place and the people in it, Babylon. All right, so why is Russia doing this? Because it's the will of the Lord, so it's going to happen. It's just about when. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. So this is a scripture displaying panic. You can't just chill and relax. You got to get ready for war, like the Lord did to the Assyrians in 612 BC, when they had to fight on many different fronts against what's his name, Nebuchadnezzar, and the Babylonians, which were Assyrians as well. But just like America got to fight against Russia, which are Edomites as well. So so set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. They use all America's resources to get ready for what's coming, and it still ain't gonna work. See that? Imagine somebody you get in a boxing ring with them, and they conserving all their strength, and then in the first few rounds, and they got prepared for it, but then in the fifth round they get tired, gassed out, and that's when you turn up the heat on them, and, take them out. If you just pluck that person, it'll feel like you hit them with an anvil to the face or a hammer, because they get exhausted. So this is going to exhaust all of Babylon's resources to defend itself. So set up a standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. See, now they putting everything in place. Oh man, Russia could do it. We got to make a space force. Yeah, man, they setting up bricks. We got to build a force too. Yeah, they doing it. We got to send some troops over there. Yeah, they talking about bringing in migrants. We got to set up a agency here in America to defend ourselves. We got, so like, excuse me, it's like being on a boat with holes in it. Everywhere they turn around, there's another hole popping, shooting and leaking in the boat, sinking this place. So set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, man. See, the Most High is allowing these nations to prepare the ambushes against this place. And one of those ambushes is Russia sending up that satellite destroyer. That's a way to ambush this place, to expose it, shut down the power grid, the system, and communications where they can't communicate, or set off missiles, or it'll stop all the tanks and the planes, the jets, everything will just shut down. Media. So prepare the ambushes. Even the migrants are part of that ambush. All right. For Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon, against the people, man. So they could say it's not going to be something that can destroy people, but the EMP is going to have an effect on the people by destroying, the movement, communication, food, everything was shut down. So even if this isn't an EMP and it's like a satellite killer, it'd be a destruction of America's communication system and GPS. And then China got the electrical grid to shut it down. And then Russia and them still got the EMPs, however they deliver it. North Korea too. They got a satellite that passes over America every day, like 50 times a day, I think. So, and they don't know what's in it. It could have EMPs, which I believe these are. So the ambushes are being prepared, all right? And the Most High has devised these things against this place so he can make sure that what? And O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. See? All right, so the Lord has promised that this was going to happen. So he's ramping up Russia, getting them prepared, and all their army. And now they're preparing the ambushes against this place, and the Lord is with them. Like, yeah, make sure they get everything in place so they can't fight back. All right, and this is one of those ambushes. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.